Yeah, so my name is Charlene. Most people in Guelph know me as Chuck. My husband and I have an axe throwing business in town called Riot Axe. So we host axe throwing private events, parties, birthdays, stuff like that. And we also do axe throwing leagues. We started doing it in Guelph about a year ago under a different name. And it wasn't something that I thought that I would ever be doing. The opportunity to do it just kind of fell in our lap a bit, and once it did, that's when I knew it was gonna go. I just had a feeling that I needed to do that. So that was a little bit inexplicable. And then I also had this weird thing I was thinking about recently where, as a kid, my favorite word in the world was entrepreneur. But I never thought that I would do that. But now looking back, it's like, well, maybe there was some magic happening there.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was challenging, to say the least. I was working full-time at the time that we started the business. The original business back in 2015, I was working full-time still. And so that was really challenging, and I wanted to do everything. I wanted to do my full-time job, but I wanted to do this on the side because I wanted to have security. But then I've come to realize that security is just an elusive thing. So it was really challenging. It took a lot of guts, and there were a lot of hard days, a lot of crying, a lot of growth, but it was good. It's all good. Yes. Okay. I really want people to get this. Follow your gut. If something or someone or some situation doesn't feel right for whatever reason, you might not be able to articulate what those reasons are, but you just feel it, then just follow that. I know that I would say the mistakes that I've made in business so far have been because I've ignored some of my gut instincts. And I learned the hard way, but it was good. Honestly, the first thing I thought of was I would never wear a bra and I would never wear makeup, ever, again.
Yep, preach. I'm just gonna put a slew of those emojis above your head.
I think we can make it happen. You just gotta start a movement, The first thing that comes to mind is I went surfing recently in Tofino, and I was kind of scared because I've always kind of had this fear of water, but I love the water too. I always want to be near water. But as a kid, I got thrown in by a lifeguard, and it kind of scarred me for life. So first ever time surfing, I go out, I'm in waist deep water, and there's a wave, this wave just builds out of nowhere to the ocean, and it's coming over my head, and it just throws my board. I get dunked, and I'm gasping for air, and then I was like, okay, out of my comfort zone. But it was really good because then I reined it back, went a little shallower and learned how to surf. So it was awesome. So I think doing something, I was doing something that scared me. Yeah, so asking for help. I was in a situation where, although I didn't sort of explicitly have to ask for help, but I had to quit my full-time job while I was doing the business on the side because I really thought I could handle it all, and I really wanted to do it all, and I really thought that I should be able to do it all because I saw my husband, who's my business partner, doing it all. He was working full-time, he was having the business on the side, and he was managing it pretty well. But I wasn't. I was kind of falling apart at the seams. There was too much going on for me, so I had to quit my job. My well-paying, good benefits, very secure, sort of stable job. That was really hard. That was a decision that took me a long time to make. But once I made it, I felt so much better about it. And, my mental health was improved dramatically, and I was able to focus on the business, which is where my heart was. So, all good. Sort of like that imposter syndrome. I don't know if you've heard of that, where you think, oh, I can't do this, or I shouldn't be doing this. Who am I to be doing this? Because that's bullshit. Because when I started this business, I didn't have any business experience. I just had drive and passion to do it. And I hear people say this before, and I was like, oh, what are they talking about? And then once you feel it, I get it. Like it just propels you to go, and it doesn't really matter if you didn't go to business school or if you didn't, you weren't this or you weren't that. You learn, and as long as you're sort of a good person or coming from, your heart, I think you'll succeed. I think you can succeed at anything that way. Oh yeah, big time. Being an entrepreneur is like the most vulnerable thing I've ever done. Every day kind of feels vulnerable. You're kind of putting yourself out there, especially someone like me who, like I said, didn't have that background to start their own business. They just sort of have the drive to do it. But the cool thing about vulnerability is, and I'm gonna like paraphrase some of the work from Brené Brown, who's a researcher in Texas, is that vulnerability is actually courage. So if you're sitting, in a theater watching a play and you're looking at somebody on stage and they're like giving it their all, they're singing, they're dancing, they're whatever, maybe they might even be naked, you're thinking, wow, like they're being, so courageous right now. You're looking at them being like, wow, they're so courageous. But that person on the stage is feeling vulnerable. So like they're really like the same thing, just from different perspectives. Anybody who is doing what they love, like doing what they love with their life, it doesn't matter if it's for work or maybe it's like they're working a job but they're doing what they love on the side. It's whoever is like going after what they want. Because I think that a lot of us get trapped in the just like mundane life, like work, pay bills, die, and there's got to be more. I feel like my answers are a bit maybe strange, but okay, so podcasts have been a big one for me, and they've actually been things like Joe Rogan Experience, and Aubrey Marcus has a podcast. There's a podcast called The Journey, and also The Minimalists. These are podcasts about sort of just lifestyle. Some of them are sort of spiritual based a little bit, and in that, sort of follow your gut, follow your dreams kind of thing. Just hearing those messages, or like living simplistically as well. And so hearing those messages over and over as I listen to these podcasts is sort of just built into my brain. I did have a hard time with it more so when I had a full-time job and I was trying to do everything. That was really hard because I was working full-time and then trying to focus on the business at night. And there was no time for me, there was no time for my husband, there's no time for anything else. But now that I'm focusing on the business full-time, I pretty much stick to sort of the daytime hours, which is nice. So, so I kind of put that aside at night. Maybe when my husband comes home from his full-time job, we do have to talk about certain things. And of course, we actually work at Riot Axe on weekends and evenings. But no, the balance is so much better now that I don't have to do everything. Self-care habits, I started to say no to a lot of things, a lot of social engagements, and giving myself permission to do that and not having to have a reason, just saying no thank you. Just really focusing on doing the things that I want to do, that I feel comfortable doing, spending time with the people that I really want to spend time with. Because when you have a business, you are busy. It's like having, especially when you're starting, it feels like having a baby. Like you're always there, you can't leave. You're the one that is on call. So I was able to just say no to a lot of things, and then the things that I did say yes to, they were higher quality experiences. It is a bit challenging because my partner is my husband. So, and it's funny because early in our relationship, we always thought we couldn't work well together because we would end up bickering. It was the only time we'd really bicker. It'd be like we'd either fight about music or we'd fight about just like working together. But we've gotten a heck of a lot better at that, so that's great. And I think now we're more easily able to just take a step back when we need to and just table certain discussions because it's maybe getting a bit too heated or we're tired and we're getting crabby. and we need to just be us. We just need to be a married couple and not business partners. So I think we're always learning and always getting better at just sort of flipping that switch. But it's always challenging, really, to be honest with you. Yeah.